I didn't know her name the first time. She saved my life. All I knew was the sound of plasma fire hammering against metal, the smell of burning circuitry, and the sensation of being yanked backward by something far stronger than any human arm. A towering figure, 8 feet tall, whirled in front of me, armor plates sliding into place like the segments of some celestial beast. Her silhouette was outlined by the flare of enemy weapons, broad shoulders, long tail balancing her stance, and a pair of curved horns like blackened crescents. Her voice struck like thunder. "Humans, stay behind me. I will protect you." The warrior's blade ignited, casting blue light across the ruined corridor. With a single sweeping arc, she shattered the drones advancing on us. Sparks rained like falling stars. Pieces of metal skittered across the floor. I, a low-ranking engineer from Earth, had just become the most statistically unlikely survivor of the Vorthan ambush. When the last drone fell, she turned to me. Her eyes, opal silver, glowed softly behind her visor. "Are you injured?" she asked. "And no," I stammered. "Thank you. I didn't catch your." My designation is Kashara Vethare, shield-bearer of the Karket Dominion. It wasn't a name, it was a title. Full of duty, weight, responsibility. But she softened her voice a fraction as she added, "You may call me Kashara." And that was the moment everything began. My rescue, my protection, and the truth she would later confess, the truth that would change both our lives forever. Middle, the secret behind her oath won. A warrior who didn't sleep. After the attack, our escape shuttle drifted for days through the Outer Rim nebulae. The engines were damaged. The mapping system was inconsistent. Supplies were limited. Kashara spent every hour standing guard by the hatch, her tail wrapped around a support beam for stability, her weapon across her chest. "You don't have to stay awake all the time," I told her on the third night. She didn't look at me. Her eyes remained on the dark viewport. "I sleep with one hemisphere of my brain at a time," she said. "A warrior's rest." That's still not rest. Her visor shifted toward me, subtly. A gesture of acknowledgement or appreciation. "You are concerned for me, obviously." "Why?" "Because you saved me." A long silence. Finally, "I saved you because it is my duty." Yet the way she said it didn't sound so simple. 2. A signal in the dark. On the 5th day, the distress scanner blipped. A single signal. Weak. Faint. Unidentified. We both leaned over the console. "It could be friendly," I said. "It could be a trap," Kashara countered. "But it's something. We can't stay drifting forever." She hesitated. Rare for her. Then she placed her hand on the console next to mine. Her claws brushed my skin. "Then we will attempt contact. If danger comes, I will stand between it and you." "You don't need to." I gave my oath. There was something deeper in her voice. Something unspoken. Something she refused to tell me. Not yet. 3. The ghost station. The signal led us to a derelict station orbiting a dwarf star. The lights were dead. The docking clamps were rusted. No life signs detectable. "Looks abandoned," I whispered. "Abandoned things often hide predators," Kashara said. Her weapon lit, casting blue reflections over the metal walkway. Inside, dust floated weightless. Old banners clung to the walls, symbols of a civilization long gone. Kashara walked ahead, tail swaying, horns grazing hanging wires. She scanned every corridor like a guardian carved of stone. Then we found it. A pod. A faint humming. Something still alive inside. A cry, a tiny one. A child? Kashara froze. "No, impossible." I stared at her, confused. "Kashara? What is it?" Her breathing deepened. Her claws shook. This station, I know it. It was destroyed long ago. She touched the pod with trembling hands. And inside, she pressed the release. The pod opened with a hiss. A small creature, scaled, horned, carcat like her, reached out and grabbed her finger, cooing softly. A child of her species. But the look on her face wasn't joy. It was devastation. For the truth she could no longer hide. Kashara, do you know this child? Her voice cracked. First time I'd ever heard it happen. She is, Kashara swallowed. She is my sister's daughter. The last heir of our line. I blinked. Your niece? But how? She was believed dead. Taken during the civil purges. Her armor retracted slightly as she held the child close. The fierce warrior who had torn drones apart now rocked a baby with trembling arms. I stepped closer. Kashara, why did you promise to protect me? Why me? When your people need you? She closed her eyes. And finally, told me the truth. I was assigned as your guard because your research is vital. That is what they told me. That's not the truth, I whispered. No, she opened her eyes. The truth is, I requested the assignment. What? Why? Kashara's tail wrapped around her legs, a gesture of shame among her species. Because I saw your record, she said softly. Your actions on the Thalin colony. You risked your life to save non-humans. You refused to leave the wounded behind. You argued with your commanders to evacuate civilians first. I blinked. I just did what anyone would do. No, her voice was firm. Most would not. You were kind. And I thought perhaps if I protected you, I could repay something I failed to do long ago. What did you fail to do? Her voice trembled. I failed to protect my sister. I failed to protect her child. I failed my bloodline. When I saw your mission assignment, I thought, maybe if I save someone who deserves saving, it would mean something. I felt the weight of her words. Kashara, she looked away. I did not expect to care for you. Humans are fragile, loud, small, stubborn. Wow, thank you. But you are good. Her voice softened. You are worth protecting. I didn't know what to say. So I gently touched her armored forearm. And she didn't pull away. Middle part 2. The hunters arrive 1. They came for the child. We didn't even have time to leave the station. The scanners lit red. A Vorthan warship. Massive. Predatory. Painted with the sigils of the faction responsible for Kashara's family's destruction. They followed the distress signal, Kashara whispered. They came to finish what they started. I tightened my grip on the console. What do we do? Kashara placed the infant into my arms. Protect her. But you're the warrior. Protect her. Her voice was absolute, full of ancient authority. I held the small creature as Kashara strode toward the docking bay, armor locking into place. When she reached the hatch, she looked back at me. If anything happens, remember that I chose this. I choose to protect you. And her. Her tail lifted like a salute. Then she walked into battle. 2. The fight against the Vorthan commander. The Vorthan troops stormed the station. Kashara met them head-on. Plasma flared. Metal shrieked. Her blade carved arcs of blue fire through the darkness. Her roars thundered through the ruins. She fought like a legend reborn. But the Vorthan commander, a brute covered in spines, stepped forward, swinging a massive hammer. You should have stayed dead, Carcat, he snarled. And you, she growled back, should never have touched my family. Their clash shook the station. I watched on the camera feed, heart pounding, the infant tucked against my chest. She was losing, slowly but steadily. Kashara was strong, but she was alone. Unless I grabbed the emergency controls and overloaded the plasma vents in the bay.